This is Project 1A for PowerPoint in the Go Office 2010 book, and I am on page 657 and activity 1.01, identifying parts of the PowerPoint window. This is the area where our slides will appear. This is where thumbnails or an outline will appear if you choose outline over here, which you probably never will. We've got some buttons down here to change the view. We've got a zoom slider so we can zoom in or out. Got a status. The rest of this is the status bar, and then we've got our tabs and ribbons and options up here at the top, just like the other Office applications. Now we're on page 658, activity 1.02, and what we're going to do is we're going to just create a slide here, and in the slide pane, which is right here, we want to click in the box, and we're going to type in the title, which is in number 2. And it doesn't like this. We've got a spelling checker here with a red wavy line again, just like we did in Word. And what we're going to do is we're going to tell it to ignore all of those because it actually is spelled correctly. And in the subtitle placeholder down here, we're going to type and we click off it, and there we go. We're getting a red line on that one as well. And let's tell it we want to ignore that. That happens a lot with proper names. In the upper left corner of your screen, click the File tab and go to Backstage View. We're going to save this. And so let's do Save As. And I'm going to put this on OneDrive. And in the PowerPoint stuff, and Chapter 1. And we're going to call this, let me see, in last name, first name, 1A. Okay. And now we're on the top of page 660. And we're going to apply a theme. So let's go to the Design tab. This is where all of the themes are, and almost this entire ribbon is devoted just to different themes that are here. And this is the themes gallery. There's a More button over here on the right if we want to look at more options than what are visible on the ribbon. And we want one with a green background called Austin. Let's see if this is Austin. And that should match what we see on the bottom of page 660. And now we're at the top of page 661, and we're going to insert a new slide. And the easy way to do this, you might think you'd want to go to the Insert tab, but the easy way to do this is on the Home tab here. And go to the Slides group, which is this group right here. Click on New Slide, and what we want is, we got a bunch of choices here. The one that we want is to content. So we're going to have two things side by side here. And this should look pretty much like what we see on the bottom of page 662. Now in the slide pane over here, we need to add a title. Do you enjoy adventure? And then we're going to put down here, our first bullet item is going to be hiking and cycling. And when we hit the Enter key, the bullets work just like they do in Word. It automatically does another bullet for us. And this is number 6 on the top of page 663. No capital. And they want us to save it, so let's save our work. And now we're on activity 1.05 on page 663. And go to slide 2. We're already on slide 2. click at the end of the last bullet point after the word locations and press enter to insert a new bullet item, and boating excursions, and press enter, and press tab, and that takes you to another bullet level. Notice the bullet's kind of hard to see here, but the new bullet is a little bit smaller, and we're indented, and our text will be a little bit smaller too. And press enter again, and we're at the same level, but if we do a shift tab, it will take us back to the previous level. You can also go up here and increase or decrease your bullet levels. And now what we want is to type in helicopter tours, and our screen should look just like it does on top of page 664. And now hit enter and tab again, and we got an item underneath this one, and it's going to say view Hawaii from above. And we also want to go up to after hiking and cycling, and hit enter and then tab, and we'll have an item underneath this, explore locations. And our slide should match the bottom of page 664 now. Now we're on page 665, and we're going to add some speaker notes, and on slide number 2 we want to put in a new slide. So let's go up here, new slide, and we want a section header, and for the placeholder here, put about our company. And then we got a little text to type in down here. I'm going to pause the video for that. Okay, we've got everything typed in, and below the slide there's a notes pane. And this is where you can put in notes to yourself, and there's a way to print them out. And you can refer to these notes when you're making your presentation. So these are things that you want to make sure you remember, but you don't necessarily want to put on the slide. So we've got some notes here, and I'm going to pause again. Okay, we've typed in some notes for ourselves in the notes pane down at the bottom, and the last thing on page 665 says to save our presentation. And now let's flip over to page 666. And all we're doing here is just scrolling up or down. You can use the scroll bar over here. I think the easiest way to do it, though, is go over here and click on the slide that you want. And we're going to do a little bit of editing here. We're going to stick in the word amazing, and watch what happens. It keeps the box the same size, and in order to do that and have all the text fit in, it has to shrink the text down just a little bit. So that's kind of a nice feature. It does that for you automatically. You don't have to go in and figure out what the right size is to make everything fit. And we've got an auto fit options button here that shows up. I don't think you'll ever need to use this, but you can turn that feature off if you want to. I'm not sure why you would. And it says below the vertical scroll bar, locate the previous slide and next slide buttons, which would be these two right here. But again, I think the easy way is just to go over here and click. If you've got more stuff than will fit in the window here, you can just click over here and use your mouse wheel and quickly scroll up and down. So we want to be on slide 3, and we are. I'm on the bottom of page 667 now. On the left side of the window in the slides outline pane, point to slide 1. And okay, they didn't say to click on it, I just wanted us to point at it, I guess, and the title of the slide will appear in a tooltip. And now on page 668 we can click on it, and in the subtitle we want to click at the end of the word tour, and I can't find the word tour because I just found out that I skipped something here. This is supposed to say tour manager, and now if we go back and click at the end of the word tour, we're supposed to stick in the word operations. Okay, and now we can save. Now we're on activity 1.08, inserting a picture from a file. And we want to go to slide number 2, and want to go to the Home tab, and in the Slides group we want to insert a new slide, and we want a picture with a caption. So insert, Home, new slide, picture with caption, and it gets inserted right after slide number 2. And so this is slide number 3. And if you're ever confused about whether it's going to go above or below something, you can also click in between slides. And so if my position is right here and I insert something, it's obviously going to go after 2 and before 3. Okay, so now we're on the top of page 669, and in the picture placeholder there's a little button here, and since this slide is meant to hold a picture, that's the only button we've got. And we want the P01A beach file, and that is in my PowerPoint Chapter 1 files, and click on Insert, and it inserts that. And then we're going to add some text over here, and again I'll pause, and you can pause the video and type that in. Okay, we've got everything typed in there that we need, and now we're on number 5 on page 669, and it wants us to go to slide number 2, and over here on the right side we're going to insert another picture, and we've got a number of things we can insert here. They try to make it easy for us, although it's not all that hard to go up and click on insert here and do the same thing. We want a picture, and we want the helicopter picture. Click on insert, and it'll put the picture there for us. And we've got the typical handles that we've seen in Word when we inserted pictures in Word. We can rotate, we can resize. If we grab a corner, we'll resize without distorting the picture. And let's go ahead and click on Save here. And now I'm on activity 1.09. We're going to apply a style to the picture, and this is exactly the same as it was in Word too. So we want to go to our Format tab, and we want to go to the Picture Styles group and click on More. And what we want is the drop shadow rectangle. So let's see, here's one with a drop shadow. Is that the one we want? And the name pops up, and that is what we want. So click on that icon, and you'll see a drop shadow behind it. And click in a blank area of the slide. Compare your screen with figure 1.24. Okay, so we click in a blank area, and it looks pretty much like the bottom of page 670, and we can save that. And now we're on activity 1.10, artistic effects. This is also exactly the same as it was in Word. So we want to select the picture of the helicopter and go to our picture tools up here, and we've got artistic effects here, and we can select whatever we want to. Does this do a live preview? Yes, it does. So you can pick whatever you want to here. They tell you to do paint strokes, which is in the second row here. Let me see which one that is. There it is. And then they also ask us to turn that off. And the very first option here is none. So we'll go back and we'll restore it to what it was before. And save your presentation. And now we're on the bottom of page 671. Viewing a slideshow. Click the Slideshow tab. And click on From Beginning. And it will begin the slideshow for us. And you can advance through this in a number of ways. You can click on the mouse, which I just did. You can do page up and page down. You can do the space bar. You can do the right arrow or the down arrow to move forward. You can move the left arrow or the up arrow to move backwards. And I'm going to hit the down arrow. And I'm going to hit the down arrow again. And I'm going to hit the down arrow one more time because we're at the end now. And when you hit the last time, it tells you that this is the end of the slideshow. And just click to exit. You can also hit escape here, I think, which I just did, and it will take you back. And now we're on activity 1.12, inserting headers and footers. This is also just like it was in Word as well. Go to the Insert tab, and we want header and footer. And let me see, we're going to turn on the date and time. And actually this is the notes and handouts that we want to do. So this would be for hard copies is what we're talking about here. So we're going to turn on date and time. And it says if necessary turn on update automatically, and clear the header checkbox if necessary, and select page number and footer checkboxes. And in the footer, normally you would just type your name here. He's got you type in the whole file name, but I'm just going to put my name, and you can do the same. And then click apply to all. Now that will only appear when you're printing out hard copies. That's not stuff that will appear on the slide. Okay. Save your presentation. We're on page 673 now. And go to the file and click on the print tab on the left here. And we've got full page slides. I don't think you would do this very often. But you can get printouts where one slide takes up an entire piece of paper. We've got some other options here though for what to print. And if we do notes pages here, then it will display the slide in the top half, and the bottom half will put those notes. And the About Our Company slide did have some notes down at the bottom. If you had notes on any of the other slides, which we do not, they would also appear. So this is something that you might do if you want to have some extra notes. The nice thing about putting notes here instead of putting them on a separate document like your Word document or something is that the notes always go along with the document. So you will always, if you have the slideshow, you've got the notes. You don't have to have them in two separate files. We've got a bunch of other options here if for some reason you want to print out hard copies. Here's one you could give a hard copy to your audience, and there'd be a little room for them to make notes if they wanted to. But that'd actually be quite a bit of printing if you had a lot of people in your audience. Here's kind of a common one. If you want hard copies, you can put 6 on a page. It's still pretty readable, although small. But it'll save you a lot of paper. You need 1/6 the amount as if you're doing full page slides over here. And there's some other options here too. And we're not going to do anything with the properties just like we haven't in any of the other options. And so we'll skip numbers 8 and 9 at the bottom of page 675, and we will go back to the Home tab, and we will save this. And that is the end of Project 1A.